How to live corporate life. This is my favorite conversation because I made it up, because corporate life is something that we teach. It's a process. It's not a program. You're not going to just do it and be done. It's a lifetime of living corporate life versus employee life. So right out the gate, I'm going to give you a gift to come to my Millionaire Intensive, where the first 2 hours I teach you implicitly every detail of how to live corporate life, and then you just have to activate it. So in the meantime, I want to talk about a few things here. How do you start your own company as early as 18 years old because you're an adult? And really, if you have some good ideas and your parents are willing to be the adult, the 18 or older on the entity and the corporate structure, start a company the minute you hear this video. So kids, you're going to go run, get mom and dad, say, watch this video with me. She said I should start a company because I'm going to make a bunch of money and you're going to help me, because they have to legally, kids. So that's the deal. The second thing is, how do you activate the greatest tax code in the world, which is over 80,000 pages of tax code, so you can start depreciation of assets, but also deductions of things like your phone. You can have a housing allowance. You can have a car allowance. You can have a technical allowance. You can buy all these toys, which you're going to need for technical training. Like, there's so many things you can write off that most people just don't think about. The last thing I want to talk about is, if you're ready and want to, how do you transition from being a full employee to a full entrepreneur? And then some of you might just want to stay and straddle for a little while. But once you know how to make a lot of money, like I have this one guy, actually I have him right now, but I won't name him. He still has a job, makes a couple $100,000. It's an easy job, but he has 2 other companies making over $1 million. And I said, dude, I didn't say his name's not dude. Why aren't you quitting your job? And he said, because why wouldn't I just make a couple $100,000 when I don't have to work very hard? And it's pretty easy and I could do it remote. And I'm like, all right, well then keep that up, keep your benefits, and let's go build these companies and use all that money to invest to become a faster multimillionaire. Starting a company as early as possible is critical. At 18, legally in the world, you can start a company. In America, those terms are an LLC, an S Corp, a C Corp, and a limited partnership. And yes, we teach in Canada. I've owned Canadian companies, South African companies. I've owned in the UK. I've owned in Australia. I've owned trusts. I owned up to 7 companies in trust in Australia. I was so active and busy. I was married to a Canadian. We know how to do this all over the world. In principle, it's the same. So when you start a company, your company makes the money, then you get to activate the tax code. If you're just an employee, you don't get a write-off this. Why would anyone give you the authority to write off a phone? You don't need to. You're an employee. And if you had a deduction, your employer probably gives you a phone, so they get the deduction, not you. Which means if you don't have a company, you can't write off part of your vehicle. Or again, there's no allocation for that. So living just employee life gives you so little choices. Like, if you sent me, Loral Langemeier, a check or some money, I'm going to send it back and say, send it to one of my companies. Here's something I want you to write down. If you don't have one of our YouTube journals, grab one. I want you to write this, and just grab a journal. If you're not writing a journal as you're watching my channel, you need to just like be an active learner about money and business. Because here's what I'm going to tell you. Companies make money, individuals get taxed. So why do you individually want to make the money? You want your company to make it. Activates 80,000 pages of code. So let's go through the deductions. Most people will not take a home office deduction. They don't do their vehicle right. They don't do their life insurance right. They actually don't even do their phone right. When I look at people's P&Ls or balance sheets, especially their P&L, their expense line, personally, you're paying for too much. When those could be business deductions, why aren't you moving it to the corporate line instead of your personal line? A lot of you, you're paying your bills wrong, and that's where your deductions start. If you pay for it yourself, that's you, not your company. Your company needs to pay for it. So again, on my channel, I have huge playlists. So search for my credit card versus debit card use and really understand when and how you use money. Money has quality to it. And the worst quality of money is just the W-2 paycheck that's taxed to pieces, and then you get the little crumbs that are left. So let's shift from that. So how do you live corporate life? You start a company, sell products, services, what you love to do, what you're good at. Be an affiliate if you don't know what to sell. I didn't know what to sell in the beginning. I sold Kiyosaki stuff. I sold Rich Dad, Poor Dad in the cash flow game. You can sell my stuff. Be an affiliate. Grab the link in the description below. Become an affiliate of ours and sell our stuff. So before I go to the last, which is your transition or decision of staying an employee versus entrepreneur or both, I want you to subscribe to my channel. I want you here 5 days a week. That's what I'm here for. It's a family-friendly channel. 5 years old and up can be here and listening and learning something. Even if it's just one thing per video, you're learning something. 52 weeks a year, 5 days a week. Just be here. Share with at least 10 people. And for those of you who want to binge my channel, we do have a binge challenge. It's in the description of exactly how to record it. But you can binge for 25 hours, and I'm going to give you $750 of credit towards a new tuition to teach you to live corporate corporate life. How about that? So I want you consuming knowledge with money and business and in the lane that I teach it and my mentors and guides taught me. So last thing is, how do you do that transition? Well, first of all, do you want to? There's a lot of you, you're military, you're firefighters, you're in the medical profession, you're lawyers, like you're teaching, you have a job. You're going to keep the job. Great. You still need to have that active business. It could be in real estate. It could be in something else. I got a client just sign up who makes really cool cold pressed soaps. She'll put them through the internet, do an internet store. We have some people who do these like healing creams. We've got people who do all sorts of different products. I'm not a fan of starting with products unless you add services, because services are faster to sell and it's a faster way to make some cash flow. You can always add products to the line, but to start with products typically takes a lot of cash from that initial amount you have to start a business, and it's a little rougher. But either way, it's a product or service through a company. So you're going to do both. And then you're going to have companies own your investments. So now you live corporate life and you have an employee life. At some point, for you to have total benefits, one of your companies will additionally employ you, because now you have officer and director benefits, which gives you the cars, the housing allowances, the schooling allowances, the educational allowances, all these extras. Your kids work for that company. So there's a system to it. There's a structure to it. Here's what I would say to those of you: the longer you wait, the more work it's going to be to fix, because it's the longer you've been stuck in your pattern. And even if you're successful, I promise you, I have people worth millions that are going, oh my God, I need a complete reset because I'm overpaying taxes. And it's like, yes, because you weren't set right. Those corporations and how they work together are vital. Now, if you do want to quit your job, I have a whole process. And again, it's here on the channel. So if you want the detail, go search for it. It's how to quit your job in less than 90 days. And it works. The main key to that, though, is you're not replacing your job income. So if you say you make $60,000 or $80,000, you're not replacing that. You're replacing your take-home cash, your after-tax number. So say you make 60, which is $5,000 a month, but you take home 4. You're replacing 4. You're actually going to back up and you're only going to replace 2. So the minute you get your company to 2, you're going to quit because you did that part-time. Now you got your life back. You're going to go from 2 to 8 like that. You aren't going from 2 to 4 and struggling once you do everything I tell you to do. Make sure you're at the Millionaire Intensive. Grab those 2 tickets. Bring as many friends as you want, even though there's only 2. Just call in and register a whole batch of people, and let's get you all living corporate life in 2024. Let's fix it. So if you have any question or want to make a request, go to askloral.com, AskLoral. Ask a question, make a request. We're here 5 days a week to answer questions and to help you get knowledgeable.